right, Ferdinand. You're not known to run the longer distance. 150 this time. What was the decision behind running 150?
We knew we would have done a couple of hundreds by now, so the 150 just sets us up for the longer season ahead. So, and it went great. So we just like building it up slowly because we just like the second, third month of the season. So we're just building it up.
How did you approach the race in terms of execution?
I mean, like I was told, my coach just told me just get out of the blocks so fast, and that's what I did. And you know, the momentum just kept pushing me on. And of course, being a front runner, I just kept pushing to the line.
What was the decision, the reason behind the decision to meet the indoors this year? You ran the indoors last year, and narrowly missed out on the medal, but this year you missed out, and you didn't run the indoors at all. But you've run a couple of diamond leagues, and just talk us through your season so far.
I missed the indoors because of personal reasons. I had so many things that are going on at home, so I couldn't manage. So that's why we decided to sit it out and just take a longer preparation towards the outdoors.
Since you broke out of the scene in 2021, what has been the journey like? You reached your peak in 2022, becoming the African champion, the Commonwealth Games champion, African record holder. With Akani running fast, the younger guys. How has the journey been? And just what has been the biggest lessons?
I can say that this has been the perfect thing that ever happened for me in my life. Like just having athletics with me and just going by it. And 2022 just set me up for what's going to be a fruitful career ahead. So it's been a great thing. That's my job. I wake up, I sleep athletics. So for me, that's the best thing that ever happened for me in my life.
You've raised the expectations from Kenya regarding the sprints. You made the world champion. You made the world championships last week too, with your other guys, even though they're not at the level. But talk us through how you inspire these guys to also take up sprinting, considering it's not predominantly common in Kenya.
I loved it when we qualified last week, because you could see from the photos and the videos I was extremely happy, because it's my dream to make sure that we draw as many sprinters as possible in the country, and just them going to the World Championships, for me it's a plus because they're going to have a different experience. Once they get out of the World Championships in September, all of those athletes that will be going in for 4x1 will have a completely different perspective in terms of athletics. So for me it's just making sure that we get there in large numbers. If we can take more than 8 athletes in that 4x1, I'll be excited because I want them to see what happens in this professional life.
What were you telling your guys before you got on the track at the World Relays? Like, was there kind of talk amongst you guys preparing to, try and get on the world team?
No, we made a big change. Usually I always finish, I always anchor, but we made a big change, and I went to run the second leg, the backstretch. And I told them, one thing you should know, this stick is going to get to you ahead of these guys. So all these guys were just psyched up because they knew the relay has been made on the other side. So for them, it's just keep pushing. And I told them it's going to be a completely different experience going into the World Championships, because that's where everything is and that's where everyone is. So if you guys can make it to the World Championships, then your perspective on this track will just completely change. So that's what they did.
I wonder if you and even the teammates kind of realized the history making that you did for Kenya in that aspect?
Yeah. We've been pushing so hard to get into the World Championship since I joined athletics. And funny thing is, when I started sprinting, I never had any imagination that I'll be a star in 100 meters. So my hope and my faith was all in the relay, because I believed the relay could have done better, but I came first, and then now the relay is following up. So I'm really excited, and we're just inspiring generations, and I'm hoping that the relay team will always be in the major championships going forward.
Good job, man. Good job.